But before I do that, we have a couple of people on the meeting, and I think we're good to go. So yeah, so if you're a developer, please just keep your system on so that you just be following and going through as he begins. So because practice goes with learning goes with practice. So our speaker today, Chidiebere Chukwudi, is a software developer, software engineer with 5 years plus of industry experience. He contributes to open source and occasionally builds in public. He built the flagship for Builder Streak, a build-in public tool that helps creatives document their build in public journey. And he currently works as a software engineer at School Twists. And so today, if your hands are not busy, let's make welcome Mr. Chidiebere Chukwudi to give us a session on Gemini in WordPress. I believe he's going to be sharing his screen, and then we'll have to listen attentively, and then we'll go home with something tangible. So, you're very welcome, sir.
Hi everyone, nice to be
Hi.
here, and thanks for having me. I want to believe that I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible. Can we all hear him? You're audible from my end. You can go ahead.
All right, and I'm also like you can see my face just in case. Yeah, so it's nice being here with everyone and nice to be part of the community for some time now. And I'm grateful to use this opportunity to share one or two things about WordPress. And I know some of you may be familiar with WordPress or you also use WordPress, but in this session, I'm going to be sharing one or two things that I feel we can do with Gemini as well. So I'll be sharing my screen. I would like to know if my screen is visible, but let me share in a minute. All right. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right. So I want to know. Sorry. I want to know the part that you can see the wall. Hey, I wish I can just switch. Okay, give me a minute. Minutes. Okay. Oh, there. Okay, I see. All right. Cool. Okay. All right, my name is Chidiebere Chukwudi. I'm a software engineer at currently work as a software engineer at School Twists. This is kind of a brief intro about me. I have a blog chidiebere.dev, and by the way, it's hosted on WordPress too. And I'm known on GitHub as Jovial Core. So if Chidiebere doesn't work for you, just search Jovial Core. I built builderstreet.com and WordCompany. These are like hobbies projects that I did, and I'm on social media, very active on Twitter as well. Jovial Core, Jovial_Core. So today, why is my next nothing? Sorry. So today we're going to be looking at Gemini in WordPress. The first question is, what is WordPress? Like the moderation mentioned, the moderator mentioned that WordPress is more like a content management system that you can use to build websites. If I were to ask how many people know about WordPress here, I feel like we have a lot of hands raised, but WordPress actually started as a blog blogging platform, but WordPress have advanced beyond being a blogging platform. It now powers millions of websites today, and then it ranges from e-commerce, edtech, different kind of traditional websites that you might expect out there, even for large scale businesses. So the thing is that almost everyone has indirectly or one indirectly used WordPress. Most times when you if you're undergraduate, you type something, you want to search something, and if you want to read about a particular course or a particular topic, you tend to come across one or two WordPress websites. Some of them are owned by researchers, some of them are owned by lecturers, and what have you. Now, the thing boils down to that WordPress is not just a very technical website or very technical platform. WordPress can be used by both people who are familiar with coding and people who are not. So see it also as a no-code tool that you can use for building traditional websites. Now, before I go into WordPress, I want to say that anybody can use WordPress. So why this is a technical session, but anybody can use WordPress. You can create your first website with WordPress. You don't need to be very technical. Yeah, that's that on WordPress. Next is Gemini. Gemini is a product by Google. Is the name for their LLM and their AI at large. So Google Gemini is a multimodal AI assistant and a large language model developed by Google. When it says multimodal, it has to do with text, images, audio, code, etc. etc. there is that I intentionally put that etc because you can also generate images with Google Gemini, but that is not within the scope of our discussion this evening. Now, you might be familiar with ChatGPT, so that's the same thing with Google Gemini. Yeah, so it has the way ChatGPT has a user interface where you can type something and you get a result. The same way Google Gemini has that feature, and also on the API level. So while users can type in a chat box and get results, Google Gemini also provides you with an API to be able to interact with the AI features directly as a dev. Next is use cases of AI in real life. AI went really viral and became really popular. I think late 2022 or late 2023. I think late 2023 when OpenAI announced ChatGPT. Then since then, everybody started finding ways they can utilize AI in their regular life. At one point, the way everybody has, GSM, everybody has. No, but I don't know if you guys know what that they used to call the smartphones we have today as GSMs. Then it was not really you can't find it in the hands of everyone, but at the point it became very, very popular. Now everybody has a smartphone. You can get a smartphone and really connect to the internet. Now the stage we are in AI now, the AI boom, I'm not sure that it has really gotten to everybody per se consciously. But the thing is that one way or the other, you're using AI, right? I feel like people, businesses, startups are trying to integrate AI in their products. People are getting to appreciate the optimization with living, per se, when it has to do with AI. I mean, it optimizes our life, it automates some things that we manually will do and helps us get rid of rigorous processes. Now, use cases of AI in real life. The image on the left is currently a company announced a humanoid kind of AI that will fold your laundry, wash your clothes, wash your plates, and do your dishes and all those stuff. But yeah, I feel like that's also part of the use cases of AI, and I'll hopefully wait for when where we can be able to get this in our homes and actually see, go and put off the light and put on the TV without to like stress. So use cases of AI in real life, one of them, fraud detection, medical diagnosis, autonomous vehicles, crop monitoring if you're into agriculture, and etc. The number 3 option there is autonomous vehicles. There are some cars that are self-driving cars that you can contact an Uber and you don't know that there's nobody in that car. So it's just self-driving cars. Now, that takes us to the next one. Use cases of Gemini in real life. Now, Gemini is also artificial, it's powered by artificial, it's just artificial intelligence, but yeah, it's just that the use cases varies. So we'll go into that as we continue. Use cases of Gemini in real life: writing code, assist in research and data analysis, image interpretation, language translations. When you upload an image to Gemini, for example, you can have it to interpret the image and like prompt it based on that image. I feel it's time I just check what is Gemini. So Google Gemini. Oh, yeah, this is not the one, but let me see. AI docs. So Google Gemini has an AI studio, and that's my sorry. All right, so Google Gemini has an AI studio. It also has a regular chat interface. The one we are going to be using in this session is going to be the aistudio.google.com. Now, the regular one like ChatGPT is the one you have like Google Gemini, this one with the chat interface, right? So this one is more like the one you know, ChatGPT and all that. Now, so for the purpose of this section, we're going to be using the aistudio.google.com, right? So let's get back to our slide. Sorry. Yep. So use cases of Gemini, like I mentioned, language translations, writing code, and etc. Number 5, I purposely left that as etc., and in bracket optimizing life. You will see why that is relevant. We are using Gemini in WordPress then. We're going to use Gemini in the etc aspect of WordPress users. So, which is optimizing WordPress users' life. Everyone here, like I mentioned, can use WordPress. You don't have to really be a developer to use WordPress. So, how does AI Gemini improve my life as a WordPress user? Because you know that beyond being technical or like going through the technical route, you know that the ultimate outcome of your AI usage has to be with the results it produces in your life. I mean, if I can get that humanoid bot and have it do my dishes and do my laundry, and I won't be bothered about what to eat, that will really help me. And so it has improved my life. I will have time for my friends, I have time to play tennis, and have time to do whatever I want to do. So have that mindset as we continue this session. So where are we using Gemini in WordPress then? We're going to be using it to optimize our life. Number 1 is post content generation, product name generation. Now, people who use WordPress, when they I think I need to show you guys WordPress at this point. I feel like let's do that. So if you are new to WordPress, the first time using WordPress, this is what WordPress looks like. First, WordPress is an open source platform that helps you with content generation and building traditional websites. And there's WordPress.com and there's WordPress.org. So WordPress.org. So WordPress.org is the open source version of WordPress. Like when you say WordPress, the first thing that comes to anybody's mind is the open source version of WordPress, which is WordPress.org, right? This is the open source version of WordPress. Anybody can download it, anybody can get it. And also there's WordPress.com, which is not open source. Open source means it's owned by a private enterprise, right? So this one is owned by the creators of WordPress, but this is more like the code base or the source code for this one is private. The world can't see it, right? So whenever I'm saying WordPress, just know that it's the open source version, which is the one everyone is using. All right, so like I mentioned that WordPress is a free and open source content management system that powers millions of websites for you to build traditional websites and what have you. Now, the WordPress dashboard looks like this. I'm not like going to go through the steps of installing another stuff, but it's pretty easy to install. The WordPress dashboard looks like this. You have the dashboard, you have the home, and what have you. Now, people install a new WordPress website, they tend to install a theme, right? A theme is like, if you have Canva, or if you know Canva, right? Canva helps you to, gives you the templates that you can use to generate images or generate graphic designs faster. So WordPress has that same approach. So WordPress will use themes to like give you already made websites that you can use, right? Let's say I want to blog now. I can use already made blogging websites. For example, if you go to appearance, then you go to themes. If you click on add new, you can see a directory of website templates that you can use, right? So WordPress have thousands of them here listed here. Unless I want to use a blog, I want a blog, so I search for blog. If I search for a blog, I might see these options. Or let's look for the one that is pretty easier. So let's see if this will work. So you have to install, and then you activate. All right. So once it's activated, you can visit the site. So if you click on this site, it should take you to an interface where you have. So 1 minute as it's loading. All right. So we have this is what the website template will look like, right? This is not properly aligned because we don't have post here yet. Now let me make this thing a really, really clean one. I'm going to delete every single post here. So I'm going to delete every single category. So you don't need to really bother yourself about some of the things I'm clicking on and just like focus. I'm going to bring everything down so you can understand it if it's your first time of using WordPress. So I'm trying to use that same site again. Why is this thing? Sorry, let me see. Okay, do it. Hold on. All right, so I need to delete all this stuff. So we want to make sure that we have a clean installation. Yep. So this is clean installation of what a WordPress website will look like. Right. Let me remove this logo. So we are just have it in the now imagine you install a new WordPress website and you want to see how the posts that you will be sharing with the world will look like. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to post and you click on add post and you start typing. Say my first blog post. Then you start telling stories. Telling stories. Right? Then you click on publish. So you click on publish. Your first blog post is here. Now let's say you want to do this thing. You want to have this done in. You want to have your blog post in, say up to 10 or 12 or 20. I just want to see this website that this template that I just chose. How does it render the blog post? How does it render? What does the layout look like? What will it look like? Now that is something you now have to go to dashboard. You go to post. You start creating posts again and again. Now you have to do post 2 and start typing. Right? I need to copy this because what if we're going to make it up to 3? I have to go to post 2 and start typing. Now this is how it will typically render your blog post. So I want to see what if it's up to 12, 13, 14, 15. So will I have to do post 1, type post 2, post 3, post 4, post 5? Because I want to see how it looks like and just have a feel of what my WordPress template will look like. That is rigorous and that is going to be stressful. Let's say you have somewhere to go and you have to tell the person that allow me to check out this blog template and let me see how the post is going to be arranged and all that. Sorry, that's stressful. Now, where does WordPress come in? WordPress comes into Gemini in WordPress comes in to make this process easier, helps you automate this, right? Now, let's do one more thing. So we're going to automate this. Now, there is an existing, okay. So, yeah, so we are going to want to like automate this. Let me see. So, okay. All right. So to automate this process, we need to do one thing. We need to be able to use Gemini to generate this post and have Gemini to automatically create these posts. You can specify them 10, 20, 30, or 40. That way, we have made our life easier. Now, there is a plugin for this, which is AI Dummy WP Dummy Content Generator. Now, what that plugin does is that it just generates the post with lorem ipsum, really lorem ipsum format, where the post is, I think it's one Latin stuff like that, and it doesn't have like you cannot like use that to relate with what posts or what WordPress content will look like in real life. So our goal here is to take it a little bit further. Instead of having lorem ipsum, random, text being generated, we can take this thing further by using Gemini inside WordPress. Now, one way to do that is we can start with the simplest plugin. So I'm going to go a little bit technical now to show you how we can use, can just create a simple plugin in WordPress. Then we can now use that to automate, we now use that to make API calls to Gemini and retrieve content that we can automatically use for our post generation. I hope that is clear. And I want to confirm again if I'm audible and if you guys can hear me okay. All right, so I will have to share my screen now. Let's see. So, sorry. Yeah, I'll share my screen. So my ID and yeah. So sorry. I mean, is that fine? Okay, we're almost there. So I have to use start sharing my screen now. Okay. Can you see my screen? Maybe you can see my screen. All right. So in WordPress, they have WordPress has stuff like plugins. Plugins are third-party attachments that you can use to extend the functionality of WordPress. So you can use them to, let's say something is not, what can I use as an example now? What can I use as an example now? Let's say you have like a wall socket and you want to install a circuit breaker so that when there is lightning, it doesn't like, and doesn't like destroy your appliances. You have to like install a circuit breaker or something like that. So that will like extend the functionality of the wall socket. So the wall socket is supported by that circuit breaker. So in the same way, WordPress as a platform has plugins. So plugins are our way of extending WordPress functionality to do extra, right? To do the things we want. Now, in this case, we are tired of manually generating posts. Every time we click on create post, we want to automate it, and that we're going to use Gemini for that. So if you can see my screen, the first step to do the WordPress plugin is to go to the plugin folder here. WordPress content has the plugin folder. The basic file tree of WordPress is the WordPress WP admin, WP content, and WP includes. Now, our focus is going to be on the WP content. This is where our plugin is going to stay. Then we'll go to the plugins folder inside the WP content folder, and we'll have to create a file like cook.gemini.plugin. Now, I feel like I should just delete this and create it. So we're playing. So let me create the file. So you can name it anything, but it just has to be PHP file. Now I did not mention the code stack, the stack that's used in WordPress. WordPress is built on PHP, and it also has its own WordPress API documentation that we can use to build specific WordPress stuff, but it's essentially just PHP, right? So we start with naming the file PHP, right? Then the one thing we're going to do is what I want to do is have a plugin description. So I already have this code out, so I'm going to just copy and paste them for time. Then have create something like this, which has to do with the plugin name. You're calling it Gemini demo plugin. Minimal one file sends the number to Gemini, says the response, and redirect. And we always the next to if we now check the our screen here. Okay, I think I can share. So I'm still getting used to using multiple stuff. It's okay. Okay, let me see. So if you can see my screen now, I'm on WordPress. That you call it. And WordPress has a plugin section. You can install plugins. So our plugin is here. Let me deactivate this. Our plugin is here. See, the name is Chidiebere. All right, I think I should use somebody who is in this place so that it doesn't look like, okay, I'll use all of them. All right, so I just type, now if you refresh, I just said something like the minimal, I don't know if you guys can see this version 1 by 1.0 by no. So we just assume that she's the creator of this plugin and she's the one extending the WordPress functionality with this Gemini demo code. Yep, so I'll go back to sharing my regular screen. Sorry. Oh yeah, I'll hack this stuff. The author said no done, and that was what he saw here, right? Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a basic. We're going to we're going to add a code snippet. So this guy already knows how to do. Let's add a code snippet. What he's doing is, I feel like it's beyond the scope of this session, but it's essentially trying to prevent unnecessary buffer. So when we redirect, it doesn't like we clear the so it allows us to redirect when we are trying to make it vehicles and when we redirect that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is add a menu section. WordPress can add a menu section. If you notice, we have like a time we have stuff like menus you can people and other stuff. So you can do that. Sorry, let me see if I can just share my entire screen. It's just that if I share my entire screen, it will be very large. So guys, can you see my screen? Now it's a little bit large. And then, but yeah, I think I can bring this. Yeah, I could zoom in a little. Okay, that's the problem. No, that's zooming. Is that zooming? Is this something I can do from here? Oh, don't worry, I'll manage it well. So I just want to show you that if you maybe you can zoom in on your screen, right? Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see if we can activate the Gemini demo plugin that we just got here. Yeah, people can zoom in on their screens. We can see if we can activate that. So once we activate that, it means we're telling WordPress, now start using this plugin. So we click on activate and we have it. If you scroll through, if you check towards this area, you can see something like, see, what is, okay, let me see, what is the shortcut for this now? So you can see something like, Gemini demo, which is the, in our code here, we have something like Gemini demo here. Wait, I think I can zoom in. Let me see. Sorry, let me go how to zoom in. How to zoom. So, zoom VS Code. So I really zoom in on VS Code. So let me see. Command plus. Okay. Command plus. Okay, it's okay now. Nice. Anyway, I think it's better now. All right. So, yeah, cool. So, yeah, so we have a Gemini demo, which is what we have. I think we can rename it to something like, let me say, cool stuff with Gemini. Is okay. Sorry, this is the person to change that stuff. So we name it cool Gemini. So yeah, but let's take it back to what it is. So I don't alter my format. I don't have the strength to people. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we have the menu option here for our Gemini. The next thing we're going to do is get make API calls. Now I'm going to do a free. I'm going to we're going to making the API call, and this is the code to make the API call. Something is filling. Sorry. All right, this is the code to make API. Don't worry, I know my API key is visible, but it is. I've forgotten that stuff. So what this code is simply doing is that they're simply asking to. So we are simply saying that simply have a function, Gemini demo page, and we're going to make a post request. So we're going to grab a post request from our form field, and we're going to sanitize the data, like remove excesses, and we have our API key, right? And we're going to be making an API call to this particular endpoint. Now, this other endpoint is provided by Gemini, right? And the other aspect of the code. Now, the next thing I need to show you is how to grab this API key. Now, instead of you to type ai.google.com, you can always type something like ai.dev. AI.dev will automatically take you to AI automatically take you to this Google AI Studio. So right now, to get your API key, you can click. Normally you have like a dashboard, something like this, or you can have. I think mostly you have like your chart to take it to chat, something like this. Then you click on this area. I should still zoom in this one too. Okay, you click on this towards the footer, and you have like settings. I'm sorry, you have like get API key. Then this is the place you can grab an API, click on create API, you give it, you name a project, and you select, okay, let me just put them as let me project demo. Okay, I can use an existing project, right? And you click on create key. It will generate a key for you. Which one did you create now? I think, okay, 2 keys. So you have like, you can see the key here, you can grab it and use that. So we'll just use the one we have here, which is this. Then we're going to make an API call to this endpoint. And when we make the API call to the endpoint, we need to supply other parameters to the HTTP protocol that WordPress is using behind the scene, which is embedded in this WP with remote post. Now, this is a one file. I always like, I can share the file later and have like comments so that you can check it out, right? Then we'll retrieve the, we'll have headers. HTTP protocols, they need headers. Then we have like a content type. We're expecting a JSON, and we have the header key, as Google API those key. If you are a developer, you might be coming out with something like authorization, something like that, authorization, and you have something like there are right? But in this case, Google specification is that you supply a key. That's the I prefer to undo instead of typing it from scratch. I don't like the stress. So next we supply the body, which is this. Now I forgot to mention that in our code too, we're also prompting Gemini. Now you know that in what you normally do here is you can say generate, you can come here. Please look at the chart on Gemini Studio. You can come here and say generate a post, a blog post for me. What is this? Post anything. So just trying to make sure that I guess my audience and you see what he just did now. This is another way you can also make your life easier when you want to generate posts. So let's say if we have he just generated this stuff for us and we can just copy it. We can copy it. We even generated an image. Yeah, as well. You know, when you send somebody an errand and it does like extra, you'd be like, I don't ask you to buy this one. Anyway, we just copy that. Oh, my code is not complete. Our code is incomplete, so I'm not able to demonstrate that. Okay, I know what to do. Let's just uncomment this for a sec. So we have like, okay. So we have the post we copied and we like click on add post. Click on the post and say, and give the title generated by Gemini. If you click on publish, post, and click on blog, you will notice that we have a post by Gemini in addition to the ones we have. Now, let's say you want to also use Gemini in this way. I feel like this will help you to like generate stuff that instead of you to like type all the stories, I want to just use it for demo sake or prototype. I want to see how the website looks like. Set for prototyping. Instead of you to type all the stuff by yourself, you can go to Gemini and grab the content it generates for you and post it. Right now, this is also stressful. This is not, we have not really optimized our life to the core, right? So that is why I want to go through this demonstration to show you how we can do that. Right now, I just explained the API key aspect. We are assigning the key, this header key to this particular API key value. Then the prompt here, so the prompt we tried to do here, we said Remember the prompt, you say generate a blog post for me. This is on the Gemini interface. We will come here. This is also a test, a prompt place. We can say generate a specific number of posts for let's say for any scientific topic. All right. Or let's do something that we can relate. Generate. This has to be with number. We're going to supply a value. Post, just imagine that you are seeing 2 there or 3. Just imagine you are seeing something like 2, 3, or 4 here. So this is just a variable for number. Then generate post for Oma here in Nigeria. Right? So we'll see the result later. Then that is the prompting aspect. So the prompting and the body contents we assign to a body key, which is also part of the parameters you're going to send via the HTTP protocol. Then we are going to make a get request, because this is by default a get. Is it post? Yeah, it's a post request rather. Yeah, it's a post request. We're going to make a post request, then we will. Oops, I think it's good. I don't think it's posting. So then we stay. Yeah, it's a post request. So I was right, because you can't pass sensitive data via get request like that. So we are going to retrieve the body, and we're going to assign the response we get to a body variable. And I think I need to go straight to that aspect of the code so that it starts looking like what we ordered. So next thing, I'm going to paste this. So I just have this in the chunks already. Right. Do you know that I forgot how I'm going to how to zoom in? I forgot how I'm going to take this thing back. Command plus, yeah, command line. Okay, cool. Cool. All right. I just needed this to make this to be like this. Now, if you are familiar with forms, this is an example of the form, right? You have the title, you have the content, and you have the button to submit. Now, in WordPress, you can create form the regular way you create with HTML. You have your div, you have the type, your header, then you have your form attribute, your form tag, your form HTML tag, then you have the method attribute and with a post value, and you have other basic information. Now we're going to see how it looks like in our plugin. So this is what it looks like with our plugin. Let me remove this for a sec. Okay, let me remove this. Let me remove this. This is what our plugin is. This is simply what our plugin looks like. We have a simple field, and we have a submit button, and we have an enter a number. Remember our title, Gemini demo plugin, which is what we have here to Gemini demo plugin. So we can see the Gemini demo plugin. And we have the label, enter a number, field, and this. Now, remember, we are trying to we want to be able to communicate with Gemini from our WordPress dashboard. So we don't have to go to go to Gemini interface to grab the content and now post, right? Now the first thing, we want to make sure that we are able to connect with Gemini and be able to get results. So the first thing we want to do is enter a number. Let's say we want to generate one post, and I want to bring this back, right? So this is get our last response. Then submit. Click on submit. It's going to generate the. It's communicating with Gemini. No response. Why? Let's try again. Okay, it did not want to go the first time. So yeah, this is what it looks like. This is quite technical, but I want you to focus on this, which is the test. We communicated to Gemini now, back on Gemini, and what we remember what we said. That was we said generate so number of posts for Homa here in Nigeria. Now, number here is the number we supplied here, right? Now, the test is going to be our focus. We're going to test different posts option Homa and different audience to one culture and history. That national whatever, showcasing some historical artifacts of a compelling angle of the building. This is what the plugin has done for us, right? Plan for ourselves for the sources of this particular code we just wrote now. So it is just in the literal form, the way Gemini will supply you the information for you. But when we check our posts here, this information is not there yet. So I'm going to delete all these ones that we generated here, right? And go back to our plugins. Then go back to Gemini demo. So this is what we have. Now, the thing we're going to do, you want to be able to like take this information and post it directly to our database. Post it to WordPress site. It will appear on our WordPress website. If I click on this and see no post is here, right? Nothing is here yet. Even if we generate one more, let's do one more. Generate one more. Sorry, I think there is a lag for that sometimes. Sorry, respond. And we have some serious. Should have just posted this one. Anyway, okay, finally. So this lag, I don't know why this is happening, but just and check not yet. Now we can't make use of this information if we and try to go to post and create a post. That is still a tedious process. All right, we have not optimized our life as a president. So what is to be able to do our database or like the storage center in quotes so that we can retrieve the post from our regular website. So I'm going to have a code for that. I'm going to copy that. it's a WordPress function so we're going to remove first of all this yes, I'm trying to so what is data from Gemini? We want to strip all any data and this particular test because this is the only thing that is important to us. All this stuff here are not important to us, right? All these things here are not important to us. This is the only thing that is important. So once we're able to only target this test, and that is what this code snippet is doing here. So take the data, which is everything here, right? Everything you can see here. And we target the candidates, which is we convert to PHP array, we target the candidates, we go for the first item, then we go for content, this is the content, and now we go to apps, right? And we go for the first item, which is item, the counting and numerations in computer start with 0. So we are going for the first one, which is saying 0, and we target the test. So the thing is that we get this data, we now pass it properly, and make sure all we do is content here. We don't need this, right? The next one we want to upload to our DB. So to upload to our DB, we have WP insert post. So WP insert post. So I'm really glad that this is like it. So what this WP insert is whatever information this particular test we got here inside our database, WordPress to use in our regular website. So I have to go back to our demo again. Let's refresh. Let's refresh. Now, I think this information should be removed so it doesn't like confuse you guys. Right. Oh, I'm going to have it. Make other information. I'll click on submit. Click on submit. All right. That should be a post. And let me see if sorry. Let's see if there. Okay. Let's see why this is like sometimes Gemini tends to like lag. It needs definitely can be improved. Sorry, I'll keep trying. This is not fully related. So yeah, I don't use this to me. Maybe I should use another thing. Maybe I should use another thing. Let me use another API key. Sorry. Let me use another API key. I will change this API key to not that unless I use them for change. You can how to drag it on, and you can always do this and use this one. Also, don't push your APIs to public people. This is what most people use. People see. I don't know. Let's try to make it fit. So this is part of the experience. This is serious now. Interesting. Oh, 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 oh. Think on. Oh, sorry guys. Let's see. This is my last shot. Or maybe my key. We have exhausted my usage or something. Let me see why. Mm. It's like the final to okay. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Um, sorry guys, this one has been generating all this while until here. So I want to do something nice. See this. Let me just make the final shot. If it doesn't work, I'll just go ahead to thank God. Finally. So I let me push. Yeah, so this is from Google Gemini's end. So the kind of I don't know why this happens every time, but so this is the post we just made now. Okay, here is a few posts from Uma here and all those stuff. Now, this is this is like a post. Now we need to go to our website. Remember that we had in mind to upload this directly to our database so that we can always use this in our real website. So if you come here and you click on this, wait, this, oh, I see. Oh, I see. So kind of had some serious stuff here, but let me see. The last post we generated was this. Yeah, we said, so the post we generated from here, let me go to my dashboard, it's posts. Uh, so yeah, so this was the post we generated from, this was the post we generated from Gemini now, right? And that's that we do. Right? So this is basically how we can optimize our experience with WordPress. Instead of you having to like do this by yourself, having to like go through this process, you can optimize it with this approach. We can optimize our life with this approach and get stuff. So now I just click on the second one, and thankfully it gave us a result. So if we go here now, we have like two posts already, or everything generated by Gemini, plus with an API call. You can even instruct it or prompt it to generate more lengthier articles, right? We can tell it to make it very lengthy. So this stuff like that, some of all these things can be cleaned, right? From WordPress. Then I think that should be all from me, right? So this looks a little bit not really straightforward. I try to make this very easy and develop like a simple plugin that we can use for this. But quickly, there is a plugin currently for that. There's a plugin that I have, right, that automatically will do this in an easier way, more like with a clean UI and what have you. So this plugin is also a WordPress plugin. Apparently, was what I was working on, and it can help you generate these posts as many as you want. 10, 20, 30, and a good number of them. So you don't have to like manually do all the stuff. What are the benefits of this? You can use this to prototyping, have a glimpse of how your website will look like when you have like 20 posts or 30 posts, or for development, even if you are writing code and you're building a WordPress website, you can use of you to like type all those stuff. You want to see how your layout is and all those stuff. You can just generate as many as you want. So yeah, that will bring me to the end of this session. And then thanks for indulging me. I don't know if anybody has question and the stuff.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chidiebere. Thank you so much for
Yeah, thanks.
session. Thank you. It was quite insightful. I didn't know this part of WordPress, honestly. I didn't know that you could generate content with WordPress. I've always thought it was just a website, web design like software where you just come online and drag and drop. I didn't know that there was this part at all. So yeah, thank you so much for this particular session and the fact that we can use Gemini to like generate our content, bring in plugins and all of that. So it's really cool. So I'd like to ask, is there anyone who has questions? Questions concerning the session, you know, anything you want to ask directly so he could answer and then give feedback like immediately. Anyone? You can just go ahead and type or unmute and speak. Anyone. And if you have a question, you could just raise your hand so that I anticipate it or I know that there's a question coming. Okay. No one has raised their hand so far. Okay. Chigozirim. Are you going to type or are you going to unmute? Okay, if you're going to unmute and speak, you could just go ahead. But if you're going to type, you can type too. But either way, you can ask your question. You can go ahead.
All right, good evening. All.
Good evening.
Sorry I joined very late. Um, I'm actually confused right now because what I was seeing was an editor, a code editor with a background of WordPress. So the thing got me complicated. I want to know what are we actually doing?
Okay. You want to know what we're doing because you saw like a code
Yes.
editor. I think that was
Yes.
VS Code. Am I correct?
I don't know. There are many
Um.
code editors there. Maybe Sublime.
Okay. Mr. Chidi, you can go ahead and respond. Did you hear
Yeah,
his
yeah.
question?
Yeah, I did. So
Okay.
what you saw, we are trying to look at how we can use Gemini inside WordPress. So we are trying to see the regular way, so the regular approach you use with post generation on WordPress. Now, if you on WordPress you can make a post, you can do your regular stuff, right? And make a post and you have like the post after your website. Now, the purpose of using the ID was that the is we are going to write a minimal code so we can communicate with Gemini API. Then we get a response, which is the after we have inserted our prompts on the code aspect. Then we get a response. Then that response will now use it um, to upload the post directly on WordPress instead of going through the manual way of creating a post on WordPress dashboard. I don't know if you understand it now.
All right, sir. I understand, but this is the first time I'm seeing this. You say you actually generated a post from an editor direct into WordPress dashboard.
No, yeah, like we made, yes. So it's not like from an editor. So it's a code. The code is written with the help of the editor, ID, VS Code.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you are familiar with VS Code, Sublime, all those stuff. So WordPress too has the code aspect. WordPress is not only a like a UI, what you see is what you get stuff. WordPress also has a code aspect. So I don't know if you are trying. I don't know if you understood it now. You understand it now.
I think I'm trying to and I think I'm trying to get to understand now because
So
actually this is
can
first
I
time hearing.
okay, can I come in here?
Yeah.
So do you know of like you know about WordPress now? Yeah.
Yeah, I know about WordPress.
Okay, you know about WordPress plugins. Do you know about the plugins?
Yes, yes,
Okay, so those plugins are they are coded, right? So if you want to make your own plugin, you have to code them, and that's where the VS Code comes in because you need an IDE to code your plugin. So what is actually generating the post is the Gemini, which Mr. Chukwudi has shown us how we can link to it. So that VS Code you're seeing there is just to edit the code of the plugin, which is then added to the WordPress. I don't know if that's clearer to you now.
All right, I understand fully now. So there was a Gemini API as a Gemini plugin that people coded with the editor.
Yes, a Gemini, a WordPress plugin that we coded, but with the editor. But it's not like it's a Gemini.
Okay.
Is it? Yeah, it's a Gemini plugin. Not
Yeah,
like it's owned by
WordPress
Gemini.
plugin.
We
Sorry,
Yeah, a
WordPress
WordPress
plugin.
plugin that we built to communicate with Gemini. We built it right here.
That's amazing. I don't know. I find myself so unlucky not to join this meeting earlier. I was
I think it's
a bit
recorded,
occupied.
so we can always